Culture influences and shapes well-being. Therefore, we have a responsibility to educate ourselves and improve our multicultural competency so that we can support the well-being of all people. A story. A study was conducted by Dr. Todd Kashdan and group exploring the correlation between culture, personality, and well-being. Their work in the book, Designing Positive Psychology, challenges the ethnocentric view that research conducted on white, educated Western Europeans is universal. They did this by exploring how nuances of positive psychology resonate differently with diverse populations. In Kashdan's article in Psychology Today, he examines 3 elements of positive psychology: positivity, gratitude, and presence of consistent self, and then shares how Korean and Japanese adults respond differently than their American peers. Did you know that an American may need twice as many affirmations than a Japanese person to bounce back from a setback? And not all cultures emotionally benefit from being asked to express gratitude. Intrinsic motivation makes a significant difference for South Koreans. And Americans seem to present a more stable and consistent self than their Japanese and Korean counterparts, which means that when we talk about sense of self and identity, we might need to account for the different cultural attitudes and representations of self. Culture surrounds us and influences every element of our lives, from our relationships and food to our recreation and spiritual practices. Our workplaces welcome a diverse mix of people, and so we are called to consider who we serve and how we might help them contribute to their environment in positive, meaningful, and sustainable ways. We actually have an incredibly rich opportunity to create a culture that promotes and nurtures the well-being of everyone. This wellness wheel, produced by the National Wellness Institute, offers an interactive roadmap for understanding wellness. Considering how family, community, and workplace environments are central elements in an individual's life, the wheel opens us up to a broader view, and we begin to see how an individual's identity influences how they might interact within those various communities. How might they experience their workplace or neighborhood or family differently as a result of their age or race or religion or their sexual orientation? How might each community's culture and structure therein influence that same person's well-being? Wellness is not one-dimensional. We begin to understand that this is, in fact, an ecosystem, how a person interacts with each part of their world and how those elements interact with and influence the other shapes a person's well-being. If a workplace or neighborhood is difficult to navigate, or if there's a lack of resources available, then it is going to influence that person's home life. If personal needs are not being met at home, this will impact their community engagement and even work productivity. It's all interconnected. What we desire is a healthy ecosystem, a life of balance and sustainability. Once we explore the multidimensionality of an individual's ecosystem, we can then understand more deeply how essential it is that we create and nurture in our work environments a culture that honors these differences. The National Wellness Institute highlights these multicultural competencies. If we are going to serve diverse individuals, we must take the time to know and understand first our own worldviews, and then seek to understand the cultural values, practices, and attitudes of others so that we can effectively communicate and interact with them. Did you know that chronic disease could cost or is costing the U.S. healthcare system an estimated $4.2 trillion annually? That wellness initiatives that educate people and encourage healthy behavior actually improve work attendance and productivity. And statistically, ethnic minorities and those who are socioeconomically disadvantaged have higher incidences of chronic diseases. When people are not well, of course, then their work performance and attendance is negatively impacted. It's so important that wellness workers understand this and that we can create programs and give access to information and resources in a way that resonates with this population. This data, by the way, is from the National Wellness Institute. So in summary, successful wellness initiatives cannot be one size fits all. Much like a holistic healthcare practitioner working with clients, they must be human-centered. They must be born out of an understanding of the people that we serve. They must be individualized, accessible, inclusive, and of course, compliant with federal laws that recognize disparities and difference. It's when we understand the big picture of how a person moves through their world that we can better meet them where they are and then help them in ways that can truly make a difference to them.